We're joined today by Dylan Sutherland. He's the Director of Operations at Virginia Valor FC. Dylan, welcome to the Sideline. It's nice to have our first guest, Zack.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here, Dylan. Talk a little bit about soccer. We haven't been able to talk much about that sport with us three meatheads here.
Well, especially with the size soccer is in our area, and CYA has been had a huge soccer program for many years. We'd love to hear more about Valor.
So Valor, there's been a couple different attempts to have a sort of Valor sort of club between CYA and SYA. Pre-COVID, we met with them, and there was a lot of great ideas. And over the years, we've realized, there's this revolving door of players where players come to us from SYA, from CYA to SYA, and it just kind of goes around and around. And these are neighbors, these are classmates, these are friends. COVID kind of accelerated the conversation of, let's bring this community together because of several reasons. One, it gives a lot of different players the ability to play with their friends. Life a little bit easier for families. There's a lot more opportunity now with Valor in terms of resources. So, we came together, myself, Paul Ellis, we sat down, we had a phone conversation, and from the first moment we spoke and we started going, we realized this is going to be really cool. This is going to be different. This is one of the soccer community various partnerships and quasi mergers, and I think all of those are awesome. I think there needs to be more of that. We're very fragmented in the soccer community, so just to provide more opportunity. I don't know if I've seen that to the scale that we've done it in our area. For many, many years.
Now, this is only travel soccer.
Travel soccer, yeah. So Valor is part of CYA and SYA, where we have both recreational programs, which I think the CYA and SYA recreational programs are two of the most well-established and well-running organizations in the area. Like any organization, there's ups and downs, and that's part of life. Just like in your family, in your community, there are things that come up, and you solve them together. And the fact that now both of these recreational programs have the opportunity to continue with their team that they've been playing with since they were 4, 5, and 6, and if they want a little bit more commitment, a little bit more of a challenge to be in a more rounded soccer environment that will carry you through the year, then Valor is going to be that option for them, and we're very proud of that.
How many kids do you have playing in Valor right now?
Valor right now, between our travel programs, we have a U7, U8, somewhat pre-Valor, we call it Valor Rising. We have that program. So between that program, our full-time travel players, we hover almost to about 1,000 players. It's not about scale. It's just about providing opportunity. Want to play more competitive sports, and we hope that when they look to a soccer program, they can look to Valor and they can see stability, consistency, what we're trying to provide our players and our families. And it is an experience. I say this all the time. I'm 38, right? So at some point, each of these players are going to be 38 years old, and we want these players to come through our recreational programs, join Valor, be part of something, experience something that when they are my age, they can draw on that experience and they can become, better moms, better dads, better business owners, of being challenged and having those moments of managing success, managing failure. These are the things we talk about. It isn't just about, hey, this is competitive soccer. It's more than that. It's building young adults, putting them in situations where they're going to be upset. They're going to be so frustrated, and they're going to have to persevere. And it's in those moments, those players and those kids, how they react is going to be something that they can look back on and draw on that experience and have a better reaction the next time. And that's what it's about. It's about being better than how you were yesterday. And that's kind of how I think Valor is. Every day at Valor, I sit with our directors of coaching and our staff, and we have an incredible staff. We sit and we talk about how can we be better than we were yesterday, right?
That's good. So I know you said we're around COVID, so you're about 5 years in.
Yeah.
What are some of the benefits that you think the community and these programs have seen by the merger?
Main benefits that I've seen, the social side to a certain degree, and that, like I said earlier, these are neighbors, these are classmates that once played against each other. You may be my neighbor, but you're at this organization, I'm here. Now we can be on the same team. It gives us the ability we can provide so much more to our players than we would have been able to independently as 2 separate travel clubs. And, the more resources, the more opportunity we've been able to grow our staff, creates jobs for folks that love soccer. It's not a life of riches, but it's rich in other ways. And that is being able to be around the game and be around so many great families and the sport you love.
Absolutely. Those are some great benefits in terms of just life in general and creating the community aspect. In terms of the competitive side, what are some of the benefits you've seen there? Has it opened up opportunities? Has it created new levels of competition? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, with size and with a large community of supporters, we are able to have more access to better tournaments, the right level for our players, where I know back when we were just CYA, we had some really good teams, but because our club overall had a couple holes here and there talent-wise, it was harder for us to kind of gain that clout to get into some of these tournaments. With some of these teams, they deserved it, but just by the sheer fact that we weren't one of the big dog, a little bit harder.
Dylan, what is the leagues that you guys participate in?
We compete in various futsal leagues and, tournaments. We'll go anywhere from, we send teams to Arizona, we've sent teams to Texas, we send teams to New Jersey, Florida. We really will send our teams anywhere we think they're going to have the best competition or the best experience. And a lot of these trips out of state sometimes go beyond just they're more competitive, but it's the, as Paul would say, it's the cutting of the cord, right? Hey, my son or my daughter's now 12 or 13. They're going to go on a trip with their team to Arizona or Texas without mom, without dad. And that's maybe their first time away. We like having that trust. We can be that first experience for some of these players. The first time I go away for 3 or 4 days without mom and dad was with my soccer team at Valor, or wherever it may be. I think that's something that they will remember. I was very fortunate, younger, to be able to travel as a player, and those are some of the experiences that I remember that I carry with me, that I use off the field all the time.
Those are some of the best ones.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the summertime. So that's why when you talked a little bit about the Super Y, that's the best time because you don't have school to worry about. And it's not just a weekend getaway in the middle of all the school and the homework and those things. The summertime, you're in nice places. You get to be in the pool. You get to have fun and create those memories that, like you said, last a lifetime. So that is a pretty sweet opportunity for those guys.
Yeah, I think what's really cool about the whole program is that it doesn't infringe on the rec. It actually enhances rec.
Yeah.
We talk about the rec programs in both CYA and SYA, and those are exclusive of this.
Yeah.
This feeds into Valor, these rec programs, and in both cases we have about 1,500 kids that play in CYA rec.
Yep.
And so does SYA.
Yep.
So you have a big system of community of players that are now feeding the back end, and it just provides that whole, you create these pathways as you've done for many years, and it gives these kids an opportunity to play at all these various levels, whatever is appropriate for them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, moving on to play collegiately, we've got a lot of players that move on to college play, and that's exciting stuff. So it's neat to see that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I see it as, we have a very important responsibility because we have such a large player base and people in our community. I mean, Fairfax County, I think I saw 3rd biggest school district in the country, so there are a lot of players. So, the CYA community, the SYA community, the Valor community, we see this as it's our responsibility to make sure that they have, every pathway available to them, and understanding that every pathway is different and not one is better than the other by any sense of the word. We have players that play recreational, from 3 years old up until U19, and it's a great experience for them. And on the travel side, I mean, I had a great experience recently. I'll share with you. We had our first of 4 summer camps before 4th of July, 2 weeks ago. We actually have a camp going on this week. We have a camp next week and the week after as well. But at this camp, we've got several junior coaches, Alana, Brenna, Austin, and these are, Alana plays at Howard University. She was a CYA girl. She was a Valor girl. Now she's playing Division I collegiate soccer. Brenna, she was a player that I met her when she was 7 years old, and I was coaching her. And Austin, he's one of 4 boys that have come through our program, and now his oldest brother is now one of our coaches. So, and these 3 young adults are out there at our camp alongside myself and Coach Israel, helping give back to these young players, a lot of CYA players, Valor players at our camps. I didn't really say it to them, but at one point I pulled out a picture of Alana and Brenna, and they're, knee-high to a duck. And I'm like, guys, you remember this? And they're like, oh, my God. And it's just, for me, that's what it's about. That's what I like. I like having that moment where it's like, hey, we've come full circle now. So I want to see more of that. So some of the girls and boys that I've met that are 8, 9, 10. I hope when instead of having one gray hair, I look like Mark and
Yeah.
they're on our staff. I mean, I'd love to see in 10 years our whole coaching staff are former Valor players.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's cool stuff, and you're right. And the community part of it is what we're all doing and what we are all aspiring to create here. So.
Yeah.
No, it's exciting stuff. Well, Dylan, thank you for coming and sharing with us everything going on in Valor. Valor, the website, you want to give us the website, and you guys are always looking for players if you're interested, right?
Yeah, www.virginiavalorfc.org. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok. Yeah, reach out to us. We can add players. We can have you come out to an ID session. If you just have questions, if you're a coach and you're looking to, work with us, or you're a young player that is looking to transition from playing to coaching, reach out to us. We're here. We wanna be a general support system for anybody in the community that's interested in the sport.